Hi, I'm Steve Parry and I'm here to tell you about British Gas Swim Britain. British Gas, they've got a great aim. They want to get more people swimming regularly by 2015. So in order to take part in Swim Britain, you've got a team challenge. There's 4 of you. You've all got to swim 1,000 metres. You do 250 metres each in a relay until you've done the 1,000 metres. Swim Britain is going to help you get fitter and healthier, and they're even going to give you tips along the way. It's all going to accumulate in 10 events in September at venues across the country. Now, logistics of this event are super easy. You're going to get a swimming cap, a t-shirt and a timing chip. You pick them up at the venue on the day. So all you need to think about is the regular stuff. Your swimming goggles and a pair of trunks. You could wear these or perhaps some of these. You might want 2 towels as well instead of 1. So you'll need 1 towel for poolside and also a towel for when you get changed at the end. Maybe a bit of shampoo as well. And last but not least, make sure you take some water with you. So how does the Swim Britain relay work? Well, you've got to get your teammates. Here's one of mine, me Chris, just happens to be an international swimmer. I'll have some of that. He's going to lead off. Let's go, Chris. Yes. When he's done his 250 metres, he's got to make sure that his timing chip registers. Don't worry, there'll be people there on the day to make sure that that happens. Chris is then going to walk over to his second teammate, who's going to be in the transition area, and he's going to give him a high five. Nice high five. Then Chris is done. He's good to go. He can go have a little bit of a rest. It's going to get very crowded if all of you are waiting at the end of the pool. So we've got a rule. Only the person that's swimming next can be in the transition zone. So Swim Britain's going to be like no event you've ever done before, largely because of these bad boys. They're actually called buoys, and you're going to have to swim around them. When you're swimming down the pool, you've got to keep the buoy to your left-hand side. And when you're swimming back up the pool, you've got to keep it to your right-hand side. Just keep an eye out for them. Big orange things, can't miss them. Stay as tight as you can to the buoy. You've only got to swim 250 metres. There's no point swimming any more than that if you don't have to. Once you've got your team together, make sure you get the opportunity to train together. Set yourself both an individual goal. You know what? Challenge the other guys on your team as well. You might surprise yourself and with some good training, beat the time that you thought you were going to go. What about making some hoodies with your team name on there? You're taking on everyone else in Swim Britain. You've got to get in there with the right frame of mind. Maybe you want to go in some fancy dress. I don't suggest you swim in the fancy dress. That might slow you down a little bit. Maybe you could even come up with your own song, you know. I can see all 4 of you doing the Gangnam Style. Maybe not. But most of all, make sure there's some cracking banter between you and your teammates, and let's maximise the fun that we're going to have on Swim Britain. Good luck and enjoy.
Afternoon from the Wales National Pool in Swansea, and a warm welcome to WREY TV's live coverage of the British Gas Swim Wales Summer Nationals 2013. We'll continue to bring you all of the action from all 20 sessions of top-class swimming, featuring the very best of Welsh swimming talent, and the opportunity to see swimmers from all around the UK who've travelled here to Swansea for this fantastic event. And with 1,700 swimmers coming here, it was absolutely mobbed this morning. Slightly quieter this afternoon, but undoubtedly the Swim Wales Summer Nationals is one of the UK's largest meets. I'm Duncan McKinnell, and I'll be taking you through this afternoon's action. We've just got the two events this afternoon. 400 IM in both cases. The boys 15 to 18 splits into two age groups, 15-16 and 17-18, and that will be followed by the girls 400 metres individual medley, and again it splits into two age groups in the girls case, 14-15 and 16 to 18. So that will take us around about an hour. Fairly short session this one, after a bit of a marathon this morning. I hope you were there to join us for that, and then of course we'll be back again for finals this evening. Coverage of this event is brought to you by British Gas and Swim Wales, and we're grateful to British Gas and all of Swim Wales commercial partners for their continued support of Welsh swimming. So the pool has been cleared, as you can see, and that means the warm-ups are over, and we're just completing final preparations to get us underway. The officials not yet on to poolside, so it will be a few minutes yet. I make it about 4 minutes to 3. We're scheduled to go off at 3 o'clock, so that will just give us a few minutes to pause. There are some swimmers already starting to come to the blocks for the first event. As I mentioned, 400 individual medley all the way. These are heat declared winner events. So the fastest swims in each age group will pick up the medals, and the presentations will take place during this session. 3 heats for the boys. It's pretty much dominated by the 15-16-year-olds. In fact, as we saw with the 50 breaststroke last night, just the one swimmer in the 17-18 age group this afternoon. That will be Torvine Dolphins' Matthew Fairless, so barring a DQ, he's going to pick up gold. So Matthew Fairless has already taken gold in the 200 IM. Now, when we had he of course won't swim on his own, as we had to yesterday in the 50 breaststroke. That was Ian Elric of first that time. He set a championship record swimming on his own. Matthew will swim with 7 of the 15-16-year-olds, so he'll have plenty of company. And it'll be interesting to see how he does there. He's got a pretty fast entry time, 4:45, and that should bring him home in the lead if he can swim to it, unless the others come up with large PBs, which of course they might do. We've got 3 heats in all, though, in the boys 400 IM, and after that 4 heats for the girls. There are a few more in the top age group in the girls, mainly in the last couple of heats. So that's what we've got coming up for us. You can see there the officials coming onto the pool side. These ones at the turn end already in position as the remainders come down the sides of the pool. So I have no picture on my now I do. That was fast. I'll ask more often. So some shots of the crowd here. Plenty of seats this afternoon, which is a far cry from where we were this morning, where any little corner with a view of the pool was occupied. So more leisurely this afternoon, certainly in terms of the gallery. There's Elaine. So your back is now famous, Elaine. Next time we need to get you to turn round. And Elaine is just a few rows below the commentary position as the officials are introduced. And the officials are now getting themselves organised. Nice squats going on there. Little bit of limbering up for the officials as well as for the swimmers. So we're just about ready to go now, I think. We've got, looking through, 6 swimmers in the first heat, all 15-year-olds. And they are at the blocks and ready to go. So away we go. Jack Tallentire, City of Sunderland, is in lane 2. Stephen Davies of Wrexham in 3. Daniel Jones, City of Cardiff in 4. Jacob Wass of Warrington in 5. Callum Brophy of Sevenoaks in 6. And Harry Lihaj-Hodder of Merthyr in lane 7.
And in lane 7, Harry Lihaj-Hodder of Merthyr.
So, of course, a long way to go here. 2 lengths of each of the 4 strokes. So halfway through the butterfly, they turn Stephen Davies 30.78 after 50 metres. Coming down the second length, Stephen in lane 3 still with the advantage. Then it looks like lane 7, Harry Lihaj-Hodder of Merthyr, and pretty much with him, and maybe just ahead of him now, Jack Tallentire, City of Sunderland in lane 2. Of course, things can change pretty rapidly as we go from stroke to stroke in this event, but after the end of the butterfly, 107.85 for Stephen Davies. Wrexham entered 5:31.07. And straight away, Jack Tallentire is starting now to challenge in the backstroke. So the 2 on the far side there, you can see them as they go down the pool side by side now, with Jack just emerging into the lead as they come to the 150s, now about 1.5 meters up. So he's looking strong on the backstroke leg, 148.62, so already nearly 2 seconds up, and I think got a bit more out of the turn as well. Third place pretty close there, just see them on the edge of your shot in the yellow and blue caps, Daniel Jones and Jacob Wass, as we focus once again on the leader who's now stretching away. He's about 5-6 metres up. You can get the broader view now, and you can see the yellow cap of Jacob Wass just now ahead of Daniel Jones, but not by much, and they are closing in now on the early leader, Stephen Davies. Sunderland's Jack Tallentire then, 2:26.98 at halfway. Still, Stephen Davies is holding second. But it's a 3-way contest for second now, as Stephen Davies coming under some pressure from Daniel Jones, and it looks like breaststroke is his thing, because he is moving up very strongly, and I don't think it'll be long before he's up with Jack Tallentire. So Jack's big lead now under serious threat, and they're not even halfway down the breaststroke leg yet. So Daniel Jones is looking very impressive here. Doing his best to go with him is Jacob Wass in lane 5. So these two are around about 3.5 seconds apart. But Daniel Jones has turned this on its head, as so often happens, of course, in the breaststroke leg. The breaststroke specialists have a lot to give in the individual medley events, and that's what's happening here with Daniel, 15-year-old, as of course are all these. All these swimmers then. Daniel Jones leading them as they go into freestyle. 4:00.94. So needs a sub 1:22 to improve on his entry time. I'm pretty sure he'll do that. So it should be a good PB, you would think. Daniel Wass has about 4 meters on hand over Stephen Davies and Jack Tallentire, who led at 200, back in 4th after the breaststroke, but he's battling away with Stephen Davies, try and pull that back now. And the two of them trying to close in on second place. Jacob Wass as Daniel Jones turns for home. He'll not be caught here. 4:38 with 50 to go, so around about a 38-second first half to his freestyle. Another of those would be around a 5:16. See if he's got anything left in the tank just to pick up the pace down this last length. Looks like Jacob Wass should hold on to second. Still the battle going on for third place. Jack Tallentire has just gone ahead of Stephen Davies, and he is doing his best to catch Jacob Wass, and he might just do that. Daniel Jones, though, is going to take this. He comes in with about 6-7 meters in hand, 5:15.33. Jacob Wass did hold on to second, not by much, 5:19.92. Jack Tallentire nearly caught him there, 5:20.17 in third place for him. There is Daniel as our final swimmer comes in lane 7. Still need a time to come up on the scoreboard for Callum Brophy as well in lane 6. So that will no doubt get sorted out. He was certainly in the minor places. But Daniel Jones there, 5:15.33. Second, Jacob Wass, and third, Jack Tallentire. As we move on to Heat 2. So this is Heat 2. Carl Taylor of Wrexham in 1. Giovanni Di Siena of Peterborough in 2. Jordan Stratton of Lincoln Vulcans in 3. James Stephen of First in 4. Rhys Ormond Cunningham of Leander in 5. Christopher Wall of First in 6. Samuel Matthews of Stourbridge in 7. And Joshua Hillman, Rotherham Metro in 8. So we saw Stephen Davies pushing out hard in the butterfly in the first heat. We sort of described the butterfly as the hors d'oeuvre on this event yesterday in the 400 IM. That's maybe unfair to the strong fly swimmers who also do IM, but as we saw then, it's not always, in fact quite often, it's not the early leader who goes on to win. We'll see how this transpires this time though. Lane 1, Carl Taylor. Lane 5, Rhys Ormond Cunningham are sharing the lead as they come to the end of the butterfly. And I think it's very close indeed between them. 1:08.39, I think Carl Taylor just getting the touch, but too close really to call. And looks like it might be the yellow cap of Rhys Ormond Cunningham, who has got a little bit of an edge now on Carl Taylor. The other swimmers not too far behind. Lane 4, James Stephen. Lane 6, Christopher Wall, 2 from First. And lane 8, Joshua Hillman of Rotherham Metro. So all of them will be trying to get themselves in position for the second half of this race. Giovanni Di Siena as well, not that far away, and beside him Jordan Stratton. So about 5 meters separating first to 8th. Still led by Rhys Ormond Cunningham. Although coming at him now is James Stephen. He's only about a metre back, if that. And lane 8 as well, Joshua Hillman now up into third place. So into the second half, 2:28.19, a little slower than we saw in the first heat at the halfway point. Now to find out who has the advantage in breaststroke. WREY certainly looks to be going well, so next to him, James Stephen. And these two still first and second. Then over on the far side, Giovanni Di Siena has moved up nicely and is challenging Carl Taylor, the early leader. But it looks like Rees in lane 5 is getting a firmer and firmer grip on this race. 3:09.42 now for him, halfway through the breaststroke, 4.5 seconds up now on James Stephen. And that lead continuing to grow. Coming down the second length of breaststroke. 6-7 metres up now. So the race on for second, with James Stephen being caught gradually by some of the others, but not Rhys Ormond Cunningham. The Leander swimmer from just outside London is looking dominant here. 3:52.48. So they were a couple of seconds back on the first heat after the backstroke, but they're now, well, certainly Rhys is 8 seconds faster. So big turnaround there, and his lead is such that there's no way he can be caught there. You can see the size of it just as you watch Rhys there, and nobody else in shot as he comes to his final turn. As he turns, you'll see the others coming up towards the wall, and you'll get a sense of just what a big lead he's got as he goes past James Stephen, who's still in second place in lane 4, just ahead of lane 1. Carl Taylor, who has moved back up in third place, although that is challenged by lane 6 as well, Christopher Wall. But Rhys Ormond Cunningham, a big win coming up for him. 5:13.20 his entry time. The clock just coming up to 5 minutes, so this is a good swim from Rhys. 5:03.27. He comes in 10 seconds inside his entry time. Has to be happy with that. Spoke to Rhys's mum earlier on, got some lessons about the name, so that was helpful, thanks to the Ormond Cunninghams. And James Stephen did hold on to second there, 5:11.03, with Carl Taylor third, 5:11.53. So after all the swimmers are in, you can see their summary of the results. Still Samuel Matthews needs a time, and there it is. But the 1, 2, 3 up there now. Rhys Ormond Cunningham. James Stephen was second, Carl Taylor was third. As we move to the third heat. So time for this last heat to beat, 5:03.27. Of course, all these swimmers so far have been in the 15-16 age groups. As I mentioned earlier, just the one in the older age group. That is Matthew Fairless, who's in lane 4 here. And going through the full field, we've got Adam Chillingworth of Street in lane 1. Brandon Davies of Torvine Dolphins in 2. James Ross of Warrington in 3. Matthew Fairless of Torvine Dolphins in 4. Finlay Lawless Coombs of City of Leeds in 5. Daniel Thomas of Pembs County in 6. Thomas Hitchin of Hereford in 7. And Aaron Pullen of Ealing in lane 8. So Matthew Fairless, 4:45 entry time. I was talking about him at the top of the broadcast. The record for the 17-18 stands at 4:53, so he'll be out to try and prove he can go faster than that. James Ross will be looking to try and take the honours in the 15 age group to add more medal wear for him. Already 50 and 100 breaststroke gold medalist, along with the 400 free, so 400 IM would sit pretty nicely alongside that. But it is Matthew Fairless who's now starting to open up a good lead as they go into backstroke. About 4 metres up now on James Ross. Matthew Fairless, 200 IM gold medalist. IM clearly right up his street. And Matthew Fairless then about 4 metres clear. James Ross continued to hold second, although Daniel Thomas, Pembs County, will be doing his best to try and get close to him here. Daniel, 50 fly silver medalist. So into the breaststroke then, 2:16.49 is the halfway split for Matthew, and that is quite a lot faster than the first two heats. So he is taking this seriously. There's the distinctive blue T, red D on his cap, Torvine Dolphins, the performance squad. James Ross, of course, 2 breaststroke gold medals to his name, so don't expect him to be caught in this section of the race. Third place, lane 2 still. Brandon Davies, another Torvine swimmer. But he's not got much an advantage. But lane 8, Aaron Pullen, and Daniel Thomas in 6. And in fact, I think it is now Aaron Pullen who has moved into third place in the white cap. You'll see him maybe coming into your shot as these leading swimmers turn. So no doubt about the leader. A big lead, 10 metres or so for Matthew, 3:36.81. Remind you of the 17-18 record, 4:53.30. So a 1:16 in his freestyle would give him the championship record, and I think that seems very doable. James Ross has to beat Rhys Ormond-Cunningham's time, 5:03.27. So keep your eyes out for that. Very fast 4:51 is the 15-16 record. I think that will survive another year. So firmly down the last length then, and Matthew putting on a masterclass here. Completely dominant. And we see him now coming into the final 10 metres. Let's check the watch. It's just going over 4:40 and 4:41.06. So absolutely demolishes the 17-18 record there with a 1:04 for his final 100 metres freestyle. James Ross there, 4:53.23, so that will give him a 4th gold medal in the 15-16 age group. Just check the times of the swimmers behind him. Third there, 4:59.32, so it'll be silver for Aaron Pullen. And just check behind him, Finlay Lawless Coombs, 5:03.43. So Rhys Ormond-Cunningham's time, 5:03.27, will just come in, I think, before, ahead of that. So I think that Rhys will get the bronze medal in the 15-16 age group. We'll wait for confirmation of that. But there is the 1, 2, 3 in that last heat. Matthew Fairless, James Ross and Aaron Pullen. So we move to the girls then. And we have got 4 heats here. Looking down the pool, I can see 8 swimmers at the blocks. So can you. So they're just about ready to go. And away we go with Holly Barnes of Harrow in 1, Jade Adcock of Hereford in 2, Mary Yoxall of Hereford in 3, Holly Bell, City of Leicester in 4, Megan Reckless of Aquasulas in 5, Heather Lees of First in 6, Kirsten Duncan of St Thomas in 7, and Elaine Jenkins of Swim Conwy in lane 8. Holly Bell of City of Leicester is first away here in lane 4, 33.55 after the first length of butterfly. In lane 3, Mary Yoxall. Lane 6, Heather Lees. Well matched second and third. About 2 metres back on Holly. So approaching the 100. 1:13.53. Mary Yoxall second, Heather Lees third. As we go into backstroke, then 3 swimmers in a line. Jade Adcock in 2, Megan Reckless in 5, and in 7, Kirsten Duncan. Looks like maybe Mary Yoxall just closing a little bit on Holly Bell. Coming up to the halfway point in the backstroke. You see there the gap, a couple of metres still. So through the turn, the gap about a second half, just over 1:59.3 against 2:00.9. Lane 6, Heather Lees remains in third place. In the silverish cap. As you get a nice shot of the top 5 or 6 there. And at the front, it is starting to close up now. Mary Yoxall is within striking distance of Holly Bell. It's down to less than a metre at the halfway point. 2:44.21 for Holly, 2:44.54 for Mary. And straight away, it looks like lane 3, Mary Yoxall has moved past as they go into breaststroke. So nice transition for her. Over in lane 1, Holly Barnes is coming up nicely. So in lane 6 is Heather Lees. She's been there or thereabouts in sort of third or close to third. As we approach the halfway point, and Mary Yoxall is really stamping her authority now. And delighted to have with me Michael Glossop, the assistant coach of City of Peterborough, who's here with a small but very select group of swimmers from the City of Peterborough team. So welcome, Michael. It's lovely to have you here just for a few minutes.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
So, what was your motivation, first of all, for coming across to Swansea to perform in this meet?
We were searching for a meet to swim at the end of the season for those swimmers just off the British national cut-off times, and it gives them an opportunity to race a national stage.
Excellent. And how have they done so far?
Yeah, we've had some really good results. I think a lot of them are getting used to racing over a number of days. Over 7 days is quite a new experience for them, so a big learning curve.
Yeah, certainly 7 days is a pretty long meet for some of these young swimmers. Mary Yoxall, just going back to the swimming, is leading in lane 3. I'll just get out of the way and you can get a nice shot there of Michael. So if you're from Peterborough area, there is your man. Nice to have you here, as I said, but we'll just focus on the swimming as we get to the hot end of this first heat, and then we'll be talking to Michael a wee bit more. So Mary Yoxall came through strongly in the breaststroke, and she's holding that. There's a terrific scrap going on behind. You can't quite see that in your camera at the moment. Maybe if that pans back, then you'll see it going on, because there's 4 of them at it, and they are starting to close in on Mary here. And leading the charge in lane 5 is Megan Reckless of Aquasulis, and she is closing fast. So in lane 1 is Holly Barnes of Harrow, and this is getting very close indeed then. And Holly Barnes, what a finish from her. 5:39.87, and she took it. So Mary, I think maybe will be a bit disappointed and upset with herself there for letting that happen, but good time from her as well. 5:40.19, and Megan Reckless taking third, 5:40.75. Very tight at the end there. Didn't look as if it was going to be, but just shows that it's 400 metres. You've got to swim all 400 hard. And there is our winner, Holly Barnes. Holding on for dear life, I think, onto that lane rope. And hopefully we'll get a shot of the summary scoreboard. There it is. Holly Barnes, Jade Adcock and Mary Yoxall, 1, 2, 3. So on to Heat 2, we have Lucy Gain of City of Oxford in 1, Sarah Hartshorn of City of Leicester in 2, Lincoln Vulcans Emily Walsh in 3, 4 is Danielle Rayner of City of Cambridge, 5 Megan Squire, City of Cardiff, 6 Catherine Ross of Warrington, 7 Sadie Milton, Dover Life, and Amelia Baston of City of Cardiff in lane 8. So as a coach, Michael, in these 400 IMs, what do you look for from your swimmers? Does it depend on their individual strengths, or do you have a general plan for it?
It depends on the individual in question. If they have a particularly strong stroke or a couple of strong strokes, then we tell them to work those a little bit harder. Although there's not an easy swim in a 400, there's no rest period on any stroke. It's just to make sure that they get the stroke rate up after every push off and make sure that they're pushing hard every length.
And lots of focus on the transitions?
Yes, quite a lot. We do a lot of work on the starts and turn skills. A lot of people have a rest, a little breath on the turns, which obviously can take a second or even more. So if you can make them as fast as and as efficient as we can, then it'll affect the overall performance.
And it's Megan Squire who's leading after the butterfly, City of Cardiff girl. She's got about 3 or 4 metres in hand. So in just looking through the field from this session, the Giovanni Di Siena, I see, was one of your boys swimming in this one. We've heard quite a bit on the Twitter feed from the Di Siena family, so that's been great. And those boys, I think, have done pretty well for you, and I guess all of your swimmers have they?
Yeah, it's been a great learning curve, as I say, and a great experience for them. And we use Twitter ourselves quite a lot, and I know Swim Wales have done the same. So try to get quite a good Twitter relationship going on that side. And yeah, Gio did a great time in the 400 IM, knocked 1.7 seconds off his PB. So very pleased, very strong swim.
Good. I assume that you've got a good contingent up in Sheffield at the moment as well.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we've got about 8 to 10 swimmers up there at the moment. I'm a little bit out of touch at the moment because obviously the same events are going off at the same time. So it's only in the evening that I really get to find out how everyone's getting on. But I know that Liam Knight and Matt Brigham have got into the 200 metre backstroke semi-finals tonight.
So we wish them well in that. Big shout out to all the City of Peterborough swimmers at Sheffield. And if you're watching this live feed during your break, then glad to have you with us. And you get a chance to listen to Michael's wise words. Now into the breaststroke. It looks like we might have a race developing here. So lane 5, Megan Squire, is starting to be threatened by Catherine Ross in the yellow cap, the Warrington swimmer, against the girl from Cardiff. The swimmers that your guys are coming up against here, are they swimmers that you know anything about, or are you seeing a whole new group of swimmers when you come across to Wales?
It's a whole new different set of swimmers that we're up against. We don't know many other clubs here.
So that will have its own dimension, I guess, as part of the experience exercise, because they'll be used to swimming against local teams, and then they come across these names that they don't know. They don't quite know what's going to happen around them.
That's right. They've got to learn how to swim their own race, especially on a 400 IM that we're seeing at the moment. Someone might be really strong at flying, go off really fast, and some people might have to just hold back a little bit and not get too tired on the fly.
So it's a good race developing here as Catherine Ross has come through in the breaststroke, but I think that Megan Squire may well be coming back at her in the freestyle. So these two quite a long way clear of lane 3, who is Emily Walsh of Lincoln Vulcans. So let's just see how this one develops. Megan, the 14-year-old, so is Catherine. Emily, the 15-year-old, so both in the 14-15, all three of them in the 14-15 age group. Emily with a couple of breaststroke silver medals. Megan Squire silver in the 200 IM, and she has just edged past Catherine Ross in this freestyle end point of the race, and now starting to open up the gap. And those legs really pounding away now, and Megan's lead up to 4-5 metres. So she'll be looking to post a good time here. Came in with 5:27, takes 9 seconds off that, 5:18.45. So that's set a good standard for the next couple of heats. Catherine Ross coming in second, 5:22.81, also improves on her time, 7 seconds in her case, and Emily Walsh in third, 5:28.34, pretty much on her time there. So 2 more heats to go.
I've not really done this before, so...
So the summary there, Megan Squire, Catherine Ross, Emily Walsh, 5:18 up to 5:28 for the top 3. And on to heat 3. Gemma Brown of First in 1, Ellie Cox of Sevenoaks in 2, Caris Thomas of Pembs County in 3, Kirsty Hunter of Musselburgh in 4, Calypso Harvey of Ledbury in 5, Ruth Bridgman of Maxwell in 6, Annie Keppel-Palmer of Sevenoaks in 7, Jennifer Dixon of First in 8. So Michael, do you stick it out for the full 7 days, or do you try and get swimmers maybe just to come for a few days and then go home again?
Again, I think it's down to the individual. We are trying, because they're relatively inexperienced on a national stage, these athletes that come to Swansea, would like them to compete over 7 days, try and peak for the main events, but try and learn from the experience so they can compete in future over the 7 days and in multiple events, and also learning how to swim finals as well.
And as we're coming up to, this is day 5, how are they coping with that length of time that they're here? Are they starting to tire, or are they still fresh and raring to go?
They're looking quite fresh at the moment. It took a couple of days to get into it, but because they're not obviously training, I think they're coping with it quite well, having been used to doing double sessions.
So this is a bit of gentle relaxation for them then.
You could say that.
Lane 4 back in the pool. It is Kirsty Hunter, because she's had a terrific week's work so far. 4 gold medals, including the 200 IM. She's got the slight disadvantage here of going in the penultimate heat. I'm sure she'd much rather be in the final heat, but so really has to push it on if she's going to double up in the IM. She did a clean sweep in the breaststroke, so I think probably the best event for her is still to come as they come down the backstroke. Lane 6 is Ruth Bridgman of Maxwell, and in between them in lane 5, Calypso Harvey, and then Annie Keppel-Palmer of Sevenoaks in lane 7. So all fairly close here, with the yellow cap of Kirsty Hunter just in the lead in lane 4. About 1.5 meters up now, Kirsty, and she'll be wanting to increase that in this next 100 metres. 2:34.41. That is a bit slower than the previous heat, so she certainly does need to pick it up. So a full programme here in Swansea from all the 50s as well as the distance events, of course. Have you been selective in what you've entered your swimmers for, or do you just give them anything that they've got times for?
We initially send out the entry forms, and then they select the events that they would want to enter, and then we just check over them. So if there's any events really close together, or that they want to focus on one rather than the other, we have a chat about whether it would be beneficial just concentrating on one or the other.
And what about the social side when you're away for this length of time? What do you do with the kids when they're not here in the evenings?
Well, we've got quite a competition going within our little squad that we've got here. The photo competition each day, that we won the fun one, playing Candy Crush on the iPad. So we try and chill out and relax a little bit in the evenings, playing games on the iPad, and have a little competition between ourselves, which is quite fun.
Excellent stuff. I imagine that they mop the floor with you, do they?
No, I'm winning.
Oh, my word. You can't allow that, guys. Come on. And all that is way too sycophantic to let the coach win. So we need a big effort in these last 2 or 3 days to take Mr. Glossop off his perch. There's the challenge then, but meanwhile back in the challenge in the pool. We'll just focus on that as we are in the final length and a half then. Kirsty Hunter, well, she did have a pretty good breaststroke, but she's didn't really shake off lane 6, Ruth Bridgman of Maxwell. So it's these two leading the way as we come to the final turn then. Maybe 400 is perhaps just slightly too far for Kirsty, and she's coming under quite a lot of pressure now. Ruth Bridgman is up there with her in the white cap. You see the two of them side by side, and Annie Keppel-Palmer, who's had a very useful week in the red cap of Sevenoaks, is also coming up and is going to be threatening this, I think, by the time we're done. It does look, though, like Ruth Bridgman has maybe just got the edge here. Kirsty Hunter is coming back to, though, and a tight finish in this second last heat. Let's see who gets it. I think it's going to be Kirsty in the yellow cap. Yes, it is, by 3/10, 5:18.64. In fact, a couple of tenths back on Megan Squire's time. So, of course, Kirsty in the older age group. So that is the time for the older swimmers in the final heat. It'll still be 5:18.45, Megan Squire's time. For the younger ones, looking at the start sheet for the final heat, it looks like we've got 4 of each age group. But before that, we're going to a presentation. And this is going to be the boys 400 IM. Just looking down to see how the Peterborough guy goes. They're sort of in the middle of the field. Giovanni, 12th overall, 5:16.51.
So Gio's just turned 15, so he's at the bottom of the age band for the 15-16 years. So it's quite positive looking forward to next year.
So is that a suggestion that we'll be seeing City of Peterborough back in Swansea next year?
It's on the competition plan at the moment, yeah.
That's excellent. So thank you very much, Michael. It's been great talking to you for the last 10 minutes or so. We wish you the best of luck for the remainder of the meet and your Peterborough colleagues. And thanks very much for joining me.
Thank you very much.
And we'll be hoping to talk to various other coaches maybe over the next couple of days. But lovely to hear the point of view of the coaching fraternity. So thanks very much to Michael Glossop for that. And tweet us if you're from Peterborough to show your congratulations to Michael for giving us his time there. It's very much appreciated.
Thank you.
So Norma Rolls looks as if she's down on poolside organising the medal ceremonies. A woman of many talents, president of Swim Wales. We heard her singing the Welsh National Anthem yesterday evening, so a fine voice. And we've been hearing her on the poolside announcing this afternoon, so is there anything she can't do? The consensus around here is nope, she can do the lot. So we expect to see her in the pool next. Maybe she's over 18 though, so that would just disallow her. So we're just waiting for that medal ceremony. You can see there the girls also, they're the ones waiting to go in this final heat. So they're having to wait around the blocks, unfortunately. That's probably not ideal. But these are swimmers who've been around the block a bit, so I don't think they'll be too fazed by that. Just will bide their time until they're called to action. Looks like we're just about ready to go with these presentations. And we thought it was Leander's Rhys Ormond-Cunningham picking up the bronze, and that is confirmed. And here comes Rhys. And he receives his medal from Norma. So great swim. Coming out of the second last heat, so that was impressive stuff to beat a whole load of swimmers with faster entry times than him to pick up the bronze. Silver then, Aaron Pullen of Ealing. 4:59.32, one of two swimmers under 5 minutes in this race. James Ross, the other one, takes gold, so another gold medal. I think I mentioned that earlier. This is number 4 for James. So great meet for James Ross. Because some of these older swimmers would have probably rather been in Sheffield than here. The British Youth Championships just started yesterday, but they're making the most of their trip to Swansea, and this is a young man who's certainly done that. Torvine Dolphins, Matthew Fairless, the gold medalist in the Youth Championship record time, 4:41.06. To take the gold medal in the 17-18 age group, and with a very impressive swim for him. And that also was not his first medal. He's doubled up 200 and 400 IM, so a nice double there. So we do now go back for our last heat of this fairly short afternoon session. 5:13 up to 5:21 the entry time, so 5:18's the fastest so far, both in the 14-15 and the 16 to 18 age group. So let's see if these swimmers can go faster than that. So away they go, and going through the field we have Lydia Stratford of Hereford in lane 1, Fionn Davies of Thames County in 2, Ellie Plumley of Torvine Dolphins in 3, Anna Everson of Maxwell in 4, Melanie Rowland of Bevington in 5, Katie Hoyle of Torvine Dolphins in 6, Emily Osborne of Leek in 7, and Natalie Dingley of Stourbridge in lane 8. So at the turn, it's pretty even stuff. On the near side, lane 6, 7 and 8, all there or thereabouts. Katie Hoyle, Emily Osborne and Natalie Dingley. Natalie in the black cap nearest to the camera there. Nice shot of her going past the camera. And I think maybe she just has the edge, but it's close. Lane 6, Katie Hoyle right there with her, and further over the pool, lane 4, Anna Everson and Fionn Davies in 2. Let's see who gets the touch. In fact, it's Katie Hoyle, 1:11.31. 4 swimmers in the 1:11s there at the end of the butterfly. Lane 6, Katie Hoyle, who did have that touch, looks to be holding the lead in lane 6. Coming up nicely in lane 3, joining the leading group, Ellie Plumley. Also in lane 5, Melanie Rowland. So rather than anyone going out, this is all bunching up again. Still is Katie Hoyle in the lead by about a second. Natalie Dingley second. Ellie Plumley now in third. 4 in a line vying for third behind Katie and Natalie. So 5 swimmers very much in the frame here. The others have some work to do. Lane 6 still just about has the edge, Katie Hoyle, although Ellie Plumley is almost with her now. 2:30.68 at halfway. Just compare that with the previous heats, it is faster. So at the moment, barring what happens, of course, in the remaining 2 strokes, the medals can well come out of this heat in both age groups. Just to remind you who's in which age group. Of the leading group, lane 3, Ellie Plumley is in the 14-15s. Anna Everson in 4 is in the 16 to 18s, as is Melanie Rowland in 5. Long-time leader, Katie Hoyle, is the youngster, 14-year-old, so in the 14-15 age group, as is Emily Osborne, with Natalie Dingley in the 16 to 18s. Natalie is just falling away in the breaststroke, so there's a reasonable amount of change. Not at the front. Katie Hoyle has had that, and she still has it, but the challengers are different cast now. Lane 4, Anna Everson is coming into her own, and she is moving up very nicely. Ellie Plumley is still there in lane 3, and then back to Melanie Rowland in 5. So that's the leading 4. Looks like the winners should come out of that group, and Katie Hoyle still has the advantage in lane 6. Coming to the 300. Again, let's just check on the split. 4:01.23, so it's still faster than the earlier heats. The first 3 all are faster. 4:02s for Anna and Ellie. So this is getting tight now, and all of a sudden, as they've gone into freestyle, Katie Hoyle has been caught, and it looks like it's going to be Ellie Plumley of Torvane and Anna Everson of Maxwell who are going to decide this one in lanes 3 and 4. Coming to the final turn. Let's see who gets the touch. It looks like it is lane 4, Anna Everson. It is 4:38.43, leads by 3/10 from Ellie Plumley. Different age groups, of course. Anna in the 16 to 18s. Ellie looking good for the 14-15s, although coming back at her now is Katie Hoyle. So we thought she was fading in the freestyle, but no, she's not. She's not out of it yet. But still in lane 3 and 4, they're pretty much side by side here. Anna Everson and Ellie Plumley looking for double goals. The pair of them should get goals, but they'll both want to win the race as well. And they're coming in absolutely together there. And, well, we'll just need to wait there. But the touch has gone to Ellie Plumley by 8/10. That didn't look like 8/10 between them, but let's see if that is the confirmed times. Anna Everson might have got a pretty slow touch there. Katie Hoyle just behind them, 5:16.66 is the time she's been credited with. So we will just wait for confirmation of that, as those swimmers are just about done now. Also just to wait on Ellie Plumley there, 5:14.70. That is a new 14:15 championship record for her, so congratulations to her for that. And a confirmation there, 5:14.70, Ellie Plumley. Anna Everson second, 5:15.52. And Katie Hoyle third, 5:16.66. Of course, they then need to be divided up into the different age groups. Remember, we had 5:18.45 for Megan Squire in the 14:15s from Heat 2. So I think she could well figure in the medals. And 5:18.64 was Kirsty Hunter's time. There are 3 swimmers ahead of her there, but 2 of them are in the younger age group. So I suspect she'll be on the podium in the 16 to 18s as well. But we'll get confirmation of that shortly. As we allow the timing experts in the control booth to finalize that last result and our last piece of business in this afternoon session 14 out of the 20 in Swansea this week will then be complete. We'll be back for session 15 at 5:15 is when the swimming starts, so we'll be back a few minutes before that, just after 5 o'clock. So we hope that you will join us then. Still, of course, before that, we have these girls 400 IM presentations as we look down from close to the commentary position. Oh dear. There's a banana skin for somebody to slip on. I hope that's nowhere where anyone can walk. And I'm sure the pool staff, who actually have kept this pool spotless throughout, notwithstanding that particular shot, will be mopping that one up pretty quickly. Of course, whoever dropped it could always go and pick it up. So the iPods are being put away as we go off for maybe an afternoon snack, bit of nutrition, some rehydrating, and I imagine they'll be back. Obviously a swimmer with some experience there, Eindhoven Cup, of course in Holland, one of the big European swimming events. So it sounds like she's had a good trip there not too far long ago. And there's a interesting conversation. Coaches and officials talking together. You always wonder what that's about. It seems to come to a consensus around something. Meanwhile, you see into the box there some serious scrutiny of the laptop as we just get into artistic pose now. Oh, what cameramen we have. Yep. Oh dear, what's that? We don't need them in a pool. Take that away. Looking further away, we can now see from the other end of the pool. There's one of our lifeguards, so they do a good job for us here. Hopefully they can stay in their chairs and they don't have to do any serious rescue work. But very well trained. Of course, they're one of our trusty cameramen. Andy on the job. Glad he's not asleep this time. I'm sure he isn't anyway. Apart from yesterday, of course, when they were all a wee bit hungover. Apart from the odd clean living one. What was that about, though? Oh, we're getting shaky now. Oh, it's all going haywire. Oh, dear. We're in day 5, and it's getting to them. Longest they've done a swim meet before. The Quipper, of course, have been active in filming swim in Scotland. 4-day meet there in June. I had the privilege of working with them in Glasgow, because Glasgow will be the host city of next year's Commonwealth Games. That's going to be a great event. I know the Scots are very excited about hosting that. And the swimmers of all 4 of the home nations, I think, will be really looking forward to the opportunity of swimming for the home nations. They love to do that. Of course, they like swimming for Great Britain as well, but there's a special something when you've got the red of Wales or the blue of Scotland or the white of England on your back, and you really want to put one over the people who are often teammates but rivals in that situation. Of course, we also had a Celtic Tri-Nations event, the Irish against the Welsh and against the Scots. That was up in Scotland earlier this year. It was the Welsh that came home triumphant in that, with fielding a really strong team. Saw a lot of Welsh Olympians. Georgia Davies, one of them, among others. Gemma Lowe, Jazz Carlin, of course, all these swimmers currently in Barcelona. And we're wishing them well. Still relatively early days in the World Championships over in Spain. Still looking for a British medal there. Hopefully it won't be too long in coming. So we're going to go to a quick ad before we come back for this last presentation. So bear with us. We'll be back in a moment. So we're back again. Must admit, I like that Speedo ad. Just gives an idea of the training regime some of these athletes have to go through. Although I think the swimmers in this part of the world would love to have that open air facility we saw there. Maybe not in Wales. A little chilly in January. A little wet sometimes as well. Out of the water as well as in it. So still just waiting to get finalisation of that last result. Hopefully that will not be too much longer now. So it gives us a chance just to cast a wandering camera eye around the pool again. You can see the gallery has thinned out quite a lot now, unsurprisingly. The swimmers and their parents will want to just get away and get this break before many of them come back for this evening's finals. So they're promising us a medal ceremony. Wish they'd get on with it. They'll do it when they're ready, though. There's some action going on in the control box, so maybe just something to sort through from that last result. Certainly, from my take on it, it looked much closer between Ellie Plumley and Anna Everson than came up on the scoreboard, so it might be something to do with that. The time for Anna, which did seem a little slow, the time that came up on the board, but that's me just speculating. As we hold on tight, good things come to those who wait. Who said that? Just give you a reminder of what's still to come over the next couple of days. Of course, we have our finals this evening from the heats this morning. So finals in 50 backstroke, 50 breaststroke, 200 freestyle and 100 back. And as we always do, we'll be finishing off with a relay swim. And 2 more days. Sounds like we're just about ready now. They're calling some swimmers now to come to the podium area. So it looks like we have got it all sorted now. Just wait for these presentations now to get underway as the swimmers make their way to the medal area. 2 more days, as I said, of competition. 3 very full heats tomorrow. 1st of August will be on the way tomorrow morning. The swimming starts 9:30, so we'll be on air a little before that. And it's about a 3-hour morning session. That's the schedule. A couple of hours in the afternoon. I think we've got 800 freestyle tomorrow afternoon for the girls. And once again, then finals, an hour and a half session, I think, is scheduled for tomorrow evening. And then our final day of competition, Friday. Just the 2 sessions there. 9:30 start in the morning. It's going to be a pretty long one, that one. So if you're going to plan to join us on Friday morning, make sure the coffee is on tap, because it's scheduled to last for 4.5 hours. And then we'll finish off with an hour and a half session on Friday afternoon, and the swimmers will then make their way home for the weekend to whichever part of the UK they've come from. They've come from far and wide here. All parts of England, the North East, Sunderland, Yorkshire, Leeds in particular, very strong squad. We spoke to the Peterborough crew. It's a number from the East Midlands, Leicester, and a good number from the South East as well. Sevenoaks, Thanet, Amphibians, and many more. We found out about Black Lion swimming this morning from the Medway area in Kent. So I think we're just about ready to go now with the presentation. Certainly there was an announcement suggesting that, and I think we are ready to go. So we're starting with the 14 and 15 girls. And 3rd place, I think that is Megan Squire, City of Cardiff. Nice smile for her. In fact, this is the 17 to 18s. My apologies for that. So that was, in fact, Melanie Rowland taking the bronze. Kirsty Hunter, a silver medal to add to her medal collection. We've got to know Kirsty quite well. Spoken to her quite a few times in the final session. And the gold medalist from Maxwell, Anna Everson. So she had a very solid swim there to take the gold there. The 14-15s are up next. I think this is Megan Squire. In fact, you can see it on her t-shirt, so that's good news. The City of Cardiff girl. Silver medalist. Coming up, Torvain Dolphins, Katie Hoyle. And the gold medalist, in fact, sorry, Torvain Dolphins, Ellie Plumley. And with Torvain cap on. So the final piece of business is now complete. So that concludes our coverage of session 14 of the British Gas Swim Wales Summer Nationals. So we'll be back with session 15, more live coverage just after 5 o'clock this afternoon. We hope that you will join us then. In the meantime, you can keep up to date with all the results at swimwales.org and catch up with all the action. View it again on youtube.com/Whipoo TV. And of course, please keep those tweets coming in on hashtag PGSN Live. Let us know what you think of the competition so far. So that's us done. As the officials leave the stage, I'll go and get myself a cup of tea as well. So for now, from Swansea and the British Gas Swim Wales Summer Nationals, a very good afternoon to you.
Hi, I'm Steve Parry and I'm here to tell you about British Gas Swim Britain. British Gas, they've got a great aim. They want to get more people swimming regularly by 2015. So in order to take part in Swim Britain, you've got a team challenge. There's 4 of you. You've all got to swim 1,000 metres. You do 250 metres each in a relay until you've done the 1,000 metres. Swim Britain is going to help you get fitter and healthier, and they're even going to give you tips along the way. It's all going to accumulate in 10 events in September at venues across the country. Now, logistics of this event are super easy. You're going to get a swimming cap, a t-shirt and a timing chip. You pick them up at the venue on the day. So all you need to think about is the regular stuff. Your swimming goggles and a pair of trunks. You could wear these or perhaps some of these. You might want 2 towels as well instead of 1. So you'll need 1 towel for poolside and also a towel for when you get changed at the end. Maybe a bit of shampoo as well. And last but not least, make sure you take some water with you. So how does the Swim Britain relay work? Well, you've got to get your teammates. Here's one of mine, me Chris, just happens to be an international swimmer. I'll have some of that. He's going to lead off. Let's go, Chris. Yes. When he's done his 250 metres, he's got to make sure that his timing chip registers. Don't worry, there'll be people there on the day to make sure that that happens. Chris is then going to walk over to his second teammate, who's going to be in the transition area, and he's going to give him a high five. Nice high five. Then Chris is done. He's good to go. He can go have a little bit of a rest. It's going to get very crowded if all of you are waiting at the end of the pool. So we've got a rule. Only the person that's swimming next can be in the transition zone. So Swim Britain's going to be like no event you've ever done before, largely because of these bad boys. They're actually called buoys, and you're going to have to swim around them. When you're swimming down the pool, you've got to keep the buoy to your left-hand side. And when you're swimming back up the pool, you've got to keep it to your right-hand side. Just keep an eye out for them. Big orange things, can't miss them. Stay as tight as you can to the buoy. You've only got to swim 250 metres. There's no point swimming any more than that if you don't have to. Once you've got your team together, make sure you get the opportunity to train together. Set yourself both an individual goal. You know what? Challenge the other guys on your team as well. You might surprise yourself and with some good training, beat the time that you thought you were going to go. What about making some hoodies with your team name on there? You're taking on everyone else in Swim Britain. You've got to get in there with the right frame of mind. Maybe you want to go in some fancy dress. I don't suggest you swim in the fancy dress. That might slow you down a little bit. Maybe you could even come up with your own song, you know. I can see all 4 of you doing the Gangnam Style. Maybe not. But most of all, make sure there's some cracking banter between you and your teammates, and let's maximise the fun that we're going to have on Swim Britain. Good luck and enjoy.